Alright, here we are, now with the SkyHawk V2.7. I've been a bit busy. So, first thing you may notice is that the canopy is now different. This is a custom canopy that I made using the glass fuselage parts. Looks better. Also, I put on this really nice trim. I'll show you how that opens in a second when I'm done with the exterior. Missiles and whatnot, those were there before, but the wings look much nicer, and that is due to custom fuselage pieces that are like molded around the wings. Like if I stick my head in here, you can kind of see them, not really. Tail, same as usual, nothing different. 2 sets of rear landing gear, not sure how I feel about that yet. Not sure. Other than that, can I get it a bit brighter here? That's better. It's getting dusk. Anyway, so that's the instruction list. Anyway, canopy opens. You can see that that trim goes along with it, which actually took a long time because I had to make all these parts kind of separately. But it was really cool. Anyway, not sure if this was in the last model that I showed, but it now has a 2-seater cockpit. So let's get inside. There we go. This cage here is kind of cool too. I don't like this bar up top. I do like that one, but not this, because this would kind of like get in your way when you're trying to get out whatnot. Something to note is that this co-pilot switch actually switches you to the co-pilot seat. And likewise, you flick the little pilot switch here, and you go back to the pilot seat. And the way that's done is there's a piston down here that is attached to the camera. So when you flick this, that piston extends out and moves you back. That way, you don't need to be flicking through a bunch of cameras to get over to the co-pilot seat. You just, bam, right there, and right back. It's a lot of fun. And I'm one of those people that gets a little motion sick in VR for certain things, and slow movements like that is one of them. So if that piston were like slow and gradual, that would give me motion sickness. But since it's basically instant, it's no different than, I mean, if anything, this is worse because you have a little bit of motion involved with some of those cameras. Anyway, so let's take a look at this. Action group 1 through 8. These are the buttons up here. Those are pretty self-explanatory. If you hover over them, they say what they do. Neat. Co-pilot switch, already done. CAS. This is a new thing that I made, and I haven't seen it on any other planes. Crash Avoidance System, and I will show that when we take off. Left joystick, VTOL, center joystick, which is now moved over to here. This is the cannon. I'm just trying to get it back to, I'm looking at these numbers here, trying to get them to 0, close enough. And right joystick, pitch yaw, as you would expect. So that's it for that. Turn that off. We have a wing sweep. I can go and sweep the wings back. That is for faster flight. You can see now they're toggled back. Moving forward as well. The forward doesn't look as good because they kind of separate like that. I don't know. I need to work on that a little bit, but it's not a difficult fix. Anyway, let's just bring that back to 0. I don't think there's a way that you can just click a button and it'll go to 0 like you can with a trim reset button like that. I'm not sure if you can do that for custom variables. Right, so some other fun things that I put on this is in the heads-up display. Now I'll get an indicator for low fuel, because we all know that's been an issue for me. And then I will also show, so hovering like normal. Also I added a system to detect your altitude. So we're watching here, turn that on. So when we get above a certain altitude, yeah, there we go. So I didn't touch anything, that just did it on its own. And same when you're going down. It will go down quickly, and then reduce in speed when you get close to the ground, slowing to about 1 or 2 feet per second, and then you can land. I really like that. I also added this little display panel down here, and I'm really happy with these switches. So if you notice that it's on idle right now, which means that the engines aren't running, and as soon as it gets enough thrust to start moving the plane, it switches to run. And then when you shut it off, it goes to off. Same thing happens with the main engines. When you move the throttle a bit, see that up here, it switches over to run. And then you can just go and click it off. I really like how there's multiple different ways to toggle things. Like you see this 3, that engine, and this all light up at the same time. And this switch. So, I don't know. I like the, I don't know what the word is. I like the choice that you can have with it. So, let me take off and I will show you CAS, because it's a really cool system that I like the way that I implemented. So, first thing that will happen is, so CAS is off right now. So, what will happen is when I get close to the ground, see pull up. So that's like a first warning type thing. So, pull up right there. And I think it's like below, let's clear it up a bit in the sky, below 100 meters, and if your vertical speed is greater than 20 meters per second going down, and your altitude above ground is less than 100 meters, this pull-up will indicate. So that's like a manual. I want to do it myself, or you can turn on CAS, and it will do it for you. So, hands off. Look at that. Is it gonna work? I never said it always works. It works most of the time. Oh, look at that. We are under the ground. And the thing is that CAS is not intended to work completely perfectly like that. You do still need to be at controls. It's not like a Tesla autopilot, okay? But what it is meant to do is it is independent of lift, of your lift surfaces, so you cannot stall on CAS, which is very useful for either going at slow speeds, or if you were already maxed out with pulling up out of a dive or something. I'll show that. So if you're already maxed out pulling out of a dive, and you pull up too late, CAS will still save you, because it is thrust-based. So, oh, there we go. Just like that. I probably would have gone into the water. I can kind of show that. If I turn CAS off, well, yeah, I don't really want to. I know that it will work because I've been testing this a lot over the last 2 hours or something. But it's just such a really cool system. And the thing that I've found is if you're usually about 20 degrees, man, this does not look good on my engineering, but it does work really well. Better than I expected first time I used it. And it's really not even that hard. Like, I haven't been playing with the funky tree system that long, and it's already coming to me pretty easily, getting all the little nuances down. Like, I made the little custom sign that pops up. I didn't make this whole HUD, as you've seen on the other SkyHawks. That was not by me. But, let's see, CAS, there we go. It does its own thing. Sometimes, like, going up a hill or a mountain like this, you will have to, yeah, but then, like, it tries to fight you a little bit, because it's actually linked to the main VTOL engine, so, actually, oh, I also added brakes on both sides, which I really like. So, let me see. So these two engines here, those are not the main lift engines. The main lift engine is that VTOL back there, because they have much quicker throttle response time. And if I go and stick my head into the engine, you can actually see that the thrust jet is coming out of this one port here. And the way that I set it up was I have CAS toggling that engine, as well as the typical hover setting. So, and that engine is really powerful. Whoa, okay, a little close. That lift engine is really powerful because it has to be for like the throttle response time for the hovering, and it just kind of worked out well that I was able to use it for CAS. So I can let's see, do this. Turn off the gyroscopes. And I was debating. Yeah, there we go. So even when I was moving at kind of a low speed, it still did its thing. It's such a cool system. I love it. I love this plane. It's just like my little test plane. I use it so much for things like testing out all this funky tree stuff, and it's a lot of fun. What was I saying? I don't know. I can't remember. It's late. I've been working on this a lot today. So yeah, co-pilot, pilot. It's fun. So I'm just gonna fly around and see. Yeah, sometimes that pops up a little bit when it kind of doesn't need to. I'm not sure why. I think that's just like a little. Okay, there we go. That was a good display. It just kind of does it sometimes. It also doesn't work for flat walls like this because it's measuring down to the ground. So it draws a straight line from the plane down to the ground. So if you're sideways approaching a wall, it's not going to do anything because it doesn't know. There's no way for you to make a variable that like reads straight down from the plane. I don't think so, at least. Yeah, and sometimes you can kind of hear it too if I be quiet for a second. There you go. So that little whoosh, that sound there, that's the VTOL engine kicking in for CAS. Yeah, there we go. That was a good one. So, yeah, and it it's loud. You don't actually need the doors open for it to work, which I don't know, kind of cheaty, but whatever. It's fine. It's my plane. I can do what I want with it. Yeah, sweep. That's fun. You go fast. You go zoom. Technically, there's another engine. If I just scoot myself back, you see this is where the hovering engines are. Yeah, so this is actually a little hidden engine back here that makes you go a lot faster when the wings are swept. And that's just clipboard. And that's just bound to this kind of sweeping lever here. So all in all, this is the SkyHawk V2.7. More updates are probably going to come out later, let's face it. But I'm really happy with this right now. It's a lot of fun flying. Other things, GoPro, that hasn't changed. I did reduce the amount of switches in here. So I plan to make, if I plan to make more variables that use stuff like this, that need a custom variable selection, I can just go do that there. Otherwise, things like the sweep lever or anything else like the gun control, those will all those can all be done with levers like this. But things that need like a toggle switch, like CAS, you want to use a switch for those. At least I prefer to use a switch. You could use a lever, but I don't know, this is more fun. Flicks. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's all. See you next time.